when you realize that the interest is growing steadily in your Aave wallet. Definitely, that was also my reaction when I first saw the interest change and grow steadily in real time. A fantastic way to earn interest on your cryptocurrency. Let me introduce you to the Aave platform, one of the fastest growing lending and borrowing DeFi platforms in the space right now. The growth has been exceptional, and it's also one of the only platforms that allows users to perform flash loans. So in this video, I want to give you a little bit of insight of the Aave platform. I'll also show you how you can connect to the platform, how you can deposit, all the different little features that are available in the platform to enable you to get the most out of your cryptocurrency lending and borrowing. So Aave first started as ETHLend and then rebranded to Aave, I think in 2018. And they've got some of the highest lending rates in the whole space. And this is also due mostly part to the flash loans that they allow users to take so they can borrow cryptocurrency without collateral. But thanks to flash loans, regular investors that are lending on the platform can earn a much higher interest rate. So the Aave lending rates are incredibly high. I mean, we're not even talking about traditional rates. I mean, I don't know, most banks probably at the moment have negative interest rates, but I'm talking about cryptocurrency APR rates. So BAT at the moment is really low. It had a much higher APR. At the moment, the ones with the highest APR is the DAI stablecoin with 6.93%. I've been holding DAI stablecoin, but that was on Compound Finance. And I think the highest it went was, I think around 20 or 30% during the Black Swan event at the beginning of March. So DAI has always had the highest lending interest rate, I think on all platforms, but on Aave it's a lot higher than on Compound Finance. ETH is actually at a respectable 1%, which is pretty good. It's nothing to joke about. KNC is pretty low at 0.16. Other notable ones is the SNX token at 3%, SUSD, these are from the Synthetics platform, 2.72. Then you've got TrueUSD 3.5%, USDC at 5%. USDT at 3.32%. So definitely pretty good interest rates that you can use just to lock up your mostly stable coins or maybe even ETH, and you can benefit from some pretty healthy interest rates. Now, why would you want to do that? So imagine you've got a sizable cryptocurrency portfolio, and during the next bull run, you want to maybe take 25% of profits and put it into something a little bit more stable, but you don't really want to go and take it out of the cryptocurrency space. You want to keep it in the cryptocurrency space, you want to keep it in DeFi and also earn some interest on these stable coins. So you take some profits out of the market, stays in the cryptocurrency space, but you want to do something smart with this money, this cryptocurrency. You don't want to just have it on the wallet, not earning any interest. And that's where the Aave platform can benefit you tremendously. Now, Aave is actually really easy to use. It's a DeFi platform. That means you can connect with any DeFi enabled wallet. Me personally, I like to use the Trust wallet. It's one of my favorite DeFi wallets, but there are many other options that you can use. The Aave platform, called the Money Market Protocol, allows you to tap into different money markets. You've got the Aave market, that's the proprietary Aave market, but you can also connect to the Uniswap market, and depending on what has high and low liquidity at the time, they might have different lending and borrowing rates. All right, so let's connect to the Aave market. The only thing I have to do is click on Aave market, and I'm going to close this. I want to show you what kind of wallets you can use. So you can use the Ledger, the hardware wallet, one of the safest options to connect to many different DeFi apps. Over the Ledger Nano S, you'd have to connect to your PC, and then you can connect to the Aave platform. Definitely recommend this, but it's not the easiest to use, especially since you have to have your Ledger Nano S with you. You can also use the Coinbase wallet, the Wallet Connect, and Fortmatic. In the Trust wallet, you can go over to the settings, the cog on the bottom left or the bottom right of your wallet, and then you can click on Wallet Connect. Not sure if you see this, but I click on the Wallet Connect, I get a QR code scanner, I can scan it, I click on Approve, and then I'm already connected to the Aave platform. Super easy to use. With the tap of a button, I'm already connected to a boatload of different investment opportunities on the Aave platform. I don't have to go through all the paperwork that you normally have to do in traditional finance. So that's one thing that I love about the DeFi space, DeFi platforms. So now we're logged in. And here we are on the Aave money market. If you would like to switch, on the bottom right, you can change the market. So you can click on this. You can select the Uniswap market if you want. And in the future, they're also going to implement the set market. So the set market is from token sets, which allows you to buy ERC20 trading strategies based on either social trading or robot trading. I made a few videos on that. So hopefully this market will be available soon. So let's go back to the Aave market. And I quickly explain the interface. So on the left-hand side, you've got your wallet, your Ethereum wallet. Here you've got the different cryptocurrencies that you can either deposit and then earn an interest rate. So that's the APY. APY stands for annual percentage yield. That means the amount of money that you earn per year for the cryptocurrency that you deposit on the platform. And the borrow APR is the amount that you'll pay for the same cryptocurrency, but you'll be borrowing it instead. And here you can either choose between a variable APR. That means that this APR can go down or can go up depending on the liquidity of this cryptocurrency. So here would be DAI. And if you selected a stable APR, this one will always stay the same. So as you can see, the 9.34% is a bit higher than the variable APR. So stable APR is always going to be a lot higher, but you won't have the problem that it skyrockets if there's low liquidity. If there's low liquidity in the market, it's possible that the variable APR goes maybe to 20%, 30% of it, even higher, because the Aave platform maybe wants a lot of people that are borrowing a certain cryptocurrency to close their borrowing positions. So then you've got many different other ones. USD coin, which earns 5% per year, TrueUSD, USDT, SUSD, and the Binance stablecoin earning 3.76%. So everything is super high annual return rates, with DAI being the highest, 6.96%, that's average. And the past 30-day average is at 11.82%, so mind-blowing amount that you can earn on your stablecoin. To deposit, super easy, you just click on the cryptocurrency that you'd like to deposit. In my case, let's deposit some DAI. I click on this. So in the top left graph, I'll see the annual percentage rate. That means this is the rate that you'd have to pay if you're borrowing this stablecoin. There you've got the stable rate and the variable rate, the annual percentage yield. This is how much you'll be earning for depositing DAI on Aave, and this is a utilization rate. That means how many people are using this liquidity pool. Here you've got the reserve status and configuration, so you can see the available liquidity, how much DAI has been deposited on the Aave platform. So it's at 665 million DAI, which is 675 million US dollars, and how much has been borrowed. So the more tokens that get borrowed, the higher the annual percentage yield will be. And the less tokens are borrowed, then the lower this annual percentage yield will be. So you want a lot more people to borrow DAI so that you can earn more on your deposited cryptocurrency. Under the information tab, you get all the information you need about the amount of DAI, in this case, that you have borrowed and how much you have deposited. So under borrowed, you've got the amount of DAI that you have borrowed from the Aave platform, the health factor of your borrowed amount. You have to make sure that this health factor is in a safe zone, because if it is not in a safe zone, then you get liquidated. Let me explain the different concepts here: loan to value and liquidation threshold. So the maximum LTV is 75%. That means if you deposit 100 DAI, that means you can borrow 75 DAI. Now, I definitely don't recommend that you borrow that much, because that means you're going to be very close to the liquidation threshold. You'd want to stay in the safe zone. That means you might only want to borrow 35 DAI or 50 DAI. And this becomes definitely a lot more important if you're depositing ETH or other cryptocurrencies that are not considered stablecoins, as they fluctuate in price a lot more than stablecoins. So with DAI, it's definitely a lot less risky than if you're depositing and borrowing ETH. The liquidation threshold is at 80%. That means if your debt, the amount of cryptocurrency that you have borrowed, if this value is more than 80% of the amount of collateral that you have deposited on Aave, then your position gets liquidated. That means that your collateral gets sold, you have to pay the 5% liquidation penalty, and your debt is going to be covered by the amount that you've deposited as collateral. In the deposit section, you see your wallet balance, how much DAI is available in your wallet that you connected with the Aave platform, how much you've already deposited to the Aave protocol, you've got two buttons here. You can select deposit and borrow. However, borrow, you can only borrow some DAI if you've already deposited some DAI, which will be used as collateral. So let's deposit some DAI on the platform. I'll just click on deposit, and I can select how much DAI I'd like to deposit on Aave. So I can select either 25%, 50%, 100%, or I can also type in amount. So I could maybe just put 5 or 10 DAI. On the right hand side, I get all the information on how much it will cost me, the utilization rate of the DAI reserve, the available liquidity. So we saw that before, 656 million. The asset price. So DAI is a stable coin, but it fluctuates a little bit in terms of USD valuation. The deposit annual percentage yield at the moment, 6.98%, with a fantastic 11.82% 30-day average. Can be used as collateral. Yes, that means after I deposited, the maximum loan to value is 75%. Like I mentioned before, if I deposit 100 DAI, that means I can borrow 75 DAI. Liquidation threshold 80%, liquidation penalty 5%. So let's say I'd like to deposit some DAI. I can type in the amount I'd like to deposit. I can also select a certain percentage of my available DAI that I'd like to deposit, maybe 50%, 75%, and I can click on continue. If I don't have any DAI available on my wallet, what I can also do is use one of these two options to on-ramp fiat to this stablecoin. So in this case, it would be DAI. Now, I'm not familiar with Transact or Ramp Instant. These are not fiat on-ramp exchanges that I'm using. I like to use Bitpanda or Kraken. But if you're familiar with these ones, you can definitely use them. I'm not familiar with them, so I can't really recommend them. So I'm happy with 15 DAI deposited on Aave. I can click on continue. Please wait, we are loading something from you. Amount 15 DAI, the amount in US dollar, 15.239 US dollars. I can click on approve. So I'll have to approve the DAI first. I click on submit. And what I'll receive is a message that I have to sign this transaction. I click on OK on the Trust wallet. This will be pretty fast. And it went through. Now it has to be approved. The block has to go through. This signature will be locked in the next block. And as soon as that's done, I can click on submit to approve this transaction. All right, now that it's gone through, I can click on submit to deposit this DAI on the Aave platform. I will receive another signed transaction notification on my Trust wallet. I'll click on OK. Now I just have to wait until it goes through and my DAI is deposited on the Aave platform. And when that has happened, I can see my balance in. All right, so the DAI has finally been deposited on my Aave wallet. You can see here my balance is at 15 DAI. What I can also do now is click on the dashboard to get an overview of all my deposits and borrowings. So here I'm on the deposits tab, and I've got the aggregated balance, which is at $15 and a few cents. A fantastic thing that I really like with Aave is that you can see the real-time changes on my deposit based on the annual percentage yield. The higher this yield, the faster this numbers will change. Now, of course, I've only got $15 deposited, but if you've got much higher amounts, starting with 1,000 or even 5,000 US dollars, then the changes are definitely drastic and you're going to be earning a lot more every second, and you see the changes happening in real time. And I think this is super exciting to look at. I can definitely imagine having something like that as a screensaver on my TV and just like looking at it change in real time. Under the assets, I can select if I'd like to use this asset as a collateral. That means if I've got it checked on, I can now borrow some more DAI, maybe buy some ETH and use this DAI that I have deposited as collateral. It's something I mentioned before. That means if I deposited 100 DAI, I'm going to be able to borrow 75 DAI, even though it's recommended to borrow less than that due to the liquidation limit. If I'd like to borrow some funds, I just have to head over to the borrow tab. I select the cryptocurrency that I'd like to borrow. Now I don't have to go with DAI, I can also go with something else. So I can, for example, borrow some ETH. I can click on the Ethereum option, and I will be paying 7.19% borrowing fees per year. I can click on that, and here I can say the amount that I'd like to borrow, and I'll be using DAI as a collateral. In the borrow tab, I can then select how much I'd like to borrow. So the less that I borrow, the safer it is. The more that I borrow, the riskier it is. At the top here, you have your borrowed amount. At the moment, I haven't borrowed any ETH. The total collateral, so I've got $15 in collateral. The loan to value is 75%. That means the maximum amount that I can borrow is 75% of $15. And then here it does it all automatically. So for example, I can select 50%. That means I would be borrowing 0.02 ETH, definitely a low amount, but just for demonstration purposes. Or I can go with a little bit more riskier, 75%. What you have to keep in mind is when you're buying ETH and you're using DAI as a collateral, if the price of ETH goes up, that means that your debt also goes up. You have to keep that in mind, and it's possible just because of the price of ETH going up, that means that you can get liquidated because you don't have enough collateral to cover your position. You have to keep that in mind. When you're happy with that, then you can continue and you can borrow these funds from Aave using your collateral. Okay, so last but not least, I'd like to share with you my opinion if it's a sensible way to earn interest on your stablecoin deposits as a smart DeFi investor. And I think, yes, it's definitely a good way to go about earning some interest, and not only a little bit, pretty healthy interest. However, there's a catch, and the catch is the fees that you have to pay when depositing and withdrawing your cryptocurrency from the platform. Now, the thing is with fees don't really care about how much you're depositing. That means the fees are probably going to be the same if you deposit $10 on the Aave platform, $100, $1,000, and $10,000. You're going to pay the same amount of fees. What that means is that you have to calculate based on the fee amount, how long you have to leave this cryptocurrency on the Aave platform to make it worth your while. If you're only depositing a low amount, so maybe only $100, it's possible that you have to leave this cryptocurrency on the platform at least for 2 or 3 months before you actually make back the amount that you would have to pay in fees. So I think it's a smart way to earn interest, but only if you're depositing a larger amount of stablecoins on the platform. I think anywhere above $1,000. So you might also be wondering if it's a safe way to invest and earn some interest. You've heard about all the smart contract failures that happen with DeFi platforms. I can't guarantee that such a smart contract failure is never going to happen on Aave protocol because the whole space is new. No one really knows how this technology works. And maybe tomorrow there's a new zero-day bug that gets discovered that depletes the whole liquidity pool on Aave and everyone loses their money. That is definitely a risk you have to be aware of. But if you're maybe depositing amounts more than $5,000 or even more than $10,000, it might be smart to buy a smart contract insurance. Now, definitely with a smart contract insurance, it will eat into your profits. It will eat into the annual percentage yield that you'll be paying, but it might not be that much. And this smart contract insurance might also mean that you can sleep safe and soundly at night without worrying that you lose all of your funds due to a smart contract bug. One of the easiest way to buy smart contract insurance is by using Nexus Mutual, and they support the Aave platform. You go to app.nexusmutual.io and you can click on Aave, and then you can select the amount of ETH that you'd like to insure. You can then also say how long you'd like to insure this ETH. So the longer you'd like to insure it, the more it will cost you. But you can try and see and look how much the quote is, and then you can calculate if it's actually worth it. So it might be that you lose a few percentage on your annual percentage yield return rate, but you'll be able to sleep safe and soundly at night. And I think this is definitely a smart way to go, especially since the whole DeFi space is completely new. No one can guarantee that these smart contracts are error-free. So yeah, that was the Aave platform introduction, how to guide for smart DeFi investors. You're the pioneers of this new financial revolution. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any other platforms you'd like me to review and show how they work, then leave them in the comments down below. With that said, I wish you a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.